everybody, I'm here with my great friend Peter Freeman. I actually saw Peter just a few weeks ago. It was amazing. We did a doubles camp, but we're back here to talk about a huge event called TennisCon 9. And it's super exciting for me, and it will be for you as well, because it's a very different, look this year, let's say. I want Peter to give us all the details. So yeah, really, really excited for that, as well as to talk about the top 10 doubles blunders that Peter has seen recently. So a lot of great information for you. First off, though, Peter, how have you been?
I'm doing great. Yeah, we had an awesome time doing the camp together, and we saw a lot of the blunders there. So we'll be able to talk about it pretty good together today.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. We had great camp, great students, and we observed a lot of things. So that's part of what the content we're going to talk to you about today. But yeah, just how's everything been in general? With the tennis content and preparing for TennisCon 9. How's that been?
Oh, well, I'm really excited about TennisCon 9 this year. As you know, mehrban, we've been doing TennisCon, the Tennis Summit, for almost a decade now, which is pretty awesome. And I decided that since I like to do a lot of challenges, that I was going to turn TennisCon 9 into a challenge. So it's a 9-day challenge this year, and really give the people who sign up a big incentive to go into the videos, because I'm so proud of the work that all the coaches do every year, and really give incentives to the students to go through and make sure that they're watching all the content and the lessons. So what we're doing this year is, by watching videos, you have to become a lifetime member to do this. It's the only way you can track it, is when you become a member, I have a membership software that can work with the video, that when you click inside the video, it takes you to another page where you can score a point. And then when you score the point, you basically accumulate points, and you get on the leaderboard. And the top 3 prizes are pretty awesome. Number one is, you've been nice enough to where they're going to train with me and you for a couple of days. There's actually going to be 8 first place winners. Second place is going to be a ball machine, which this ball machine is smarter than I am right now. With the ball machines, they're making all these, AI type ball machines, and they're really incredible, the things they can do. So that's second prize. That's like a $2,000 value. And then third prize is a fast track training aid, which is a really cool kind of recyclable kind of feeding machine that you hit into a net, and the ball just kicks out another ball for you. And so you can really groove your strokes with that. As well as, we're going to give daily prizes, and they get to do all this while learning from the best coaches on the planet. So it's super exciting event this year.
Honestly, incredible. I mean, Peter, he's one of the most giving persons I know. First off, even just getting the lifetime access pass to all this content is invaluable, because, I know from firsthand experience, just learning one little a technical change or a strategic change will win me a match and make me feel amazing about my game. And I'm I would have paid whatever it took for that. And then, just for the price of less than a tennis lesson, you not only will get that, but you'll also get the chance to win a doubles camp, or fast track, all those things. It's incredible ball machine. So check it out. Go to tennisfiles.com/tenniscon9. That's tennisfiles.com/tenniscon9. We'll have the link in the show notes page as well for you to click there. But that's really cool, Pete. And so what are the subject areas that you're covering, with TennisCon 9?
Well, the whole concept of TennisCon is to bulletproof your tennis game, because we have the best instructors and they specialize in all these various areas. And so it's all the things that a club player would need to arm themselves to be a complete player, from, technique, whether you're thinking of your serve, your forehand, your back, and your return, your mid-court game, that's all in there. A strategy, so that you can know how to hit the right shot, the right spot, and win more matches by outsmarting your opponents. And we have some mental lessons in there. If you feel like you're just a little weak mentally and know what to do, but just your mind just locks up, we've got lessons on that. And then, of course, the body. So you're going to do something on the body this year. We have Marissa Johnson, who does a great workout, Dr. Mark Kovacs. So we got the best and the best to take care of your entire tennis game.
That's awesome, Pete. Yeah, I love your event. You do such an amazing job, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited for this different format too. Like it's going to be awesome. So, I mean, we'll talk more about that too later on, but I also want to get into, Peter, those doubles blunders. Cause like, we mentioned at the top of the show, we see them a lot. Like, I mean, when I play a match, I realized, oh shoot, I actually made a blunder, that's in this list, I'm sure as well. So let's kick it off, Pete. What's your first one?
So I've been running a lot of doubles camps over the last 12 months. I did one with you. I did one with Will of the Tennis Tribe, who's really, really great. And he loves doubles. He's always like, wear shirts. They play more doubles, things like that. And then Shadija Robinson, who played number 1 doubles at University of Georgia, beat Maria Sharapova in the finals of the U.S. Open. I'm misspeaking. She got to the finals of the U.S. Open Juniors in doubles, but she beat Maria Sharapova in singles a year before she won Wimbledon. So anyway, but we're working with club players and we're seeing the mistakes they're making over and over again. That's kind of killing their game that they know that they're making. They're traveling long distances to learn, about these mistakes and how to fix them. So that's what we do at the camp. So hopefully we're going to be able to do that on this live stream a little bit on this podcast for you. So the number one blunder that I'm seeing is court positioning awareness. Is that people are just not aware of where they're standing. There's 2 or 3 blunders just within this first one. So the first thing is people are scared to death of the drop shot and the short ball. I realize that you're playing club players. A lot of times they don't hit the ball as hard or as deep as you're watching on the professional tour. So the number one thing that people are doing wrong is they're serving and they're standing right on the line or inside the line. They're returning and they're just watching the point from where they returned, which is no man's land. And so within 2 or 3 shots, they don't realize how susceptible they are to any kind of decent ball. Any decent ball hurries up their strokes and forces an on-force error. So I encourage you to help fix this is number one, start watching the pros when they play points, singles, doubles, doesn't matter. When they're in the baseline rally, look how much space they're giving them in front of the baseline. Do you need to be as far back as them? Probably not, but be somewhere around where they are. Like, just challenge yourself to have a short ball beat you in a match. Like, don't worry about crummy drop shots for a match. Get better at anticipating them, but don't have that be the reason where you just start creeping in. Because I can tell you, if we're just looking at the numbers, you're losing way more points by standing right on the line than you are the little dinkers that get you. And, they feel bad emotionally, I think, because it's more obvious. Like, oh, you just got me on that little crummy shot. So you think I got to protect that more, but you're overdoing it for sure and losing so many points by doing that.
Yeah, great. When we saw that quite a bit at the camp, Peter. And, one thing too with the players, they're not as quick, myself included, of course, too. Like, we're not as quick with our footwork. Also, we probably have big backswings too. So like if you're hanging out, in front of the baseline, you're going to get caught and you're going to make an error off of any ball that's deep enough. So I guess what would you say to folks? Because I can remember one person in the camp and she mentioned like, I know that the ball is coming really short on the serve or like a short shot's definitely coming. So are you just basically telling yourself, position yourself behind the baseline, but then anticipate the short ball and just be ready for it when it comes? Is that the solution to allay the fears of these folks?
It's a little bit of a solution. I think the number one thing is just get comfortable, and you can do this in practice. Just get comfortable rallying cross court with somebody because you're playing doubles. You want to get good at that cross court ball. And be aware of your court positioning. Because even when you're rallying in your warm-ups, you're standing too close in. I also would do pretend points to where you are maybe serving, doing a shadow stroke point. You're serving, land, hit a ball, and then get back. Because sometimes, after you hit that serve, you don't have time to get back to the ideal spot. So you serve, you get back a little bit, then you get your first shot over, and then again, you get stuck there. So it's practicing. Maybe it takes you 2 or 3 bites of the meal, if you will, to get back to the ideal position. So it's practicing serving, returning. So even again, play a pretend point where you hit a return in no man's land, then maybe count to 1.5 and move back as far as you can. You might still be in front of the line. Then hit that shot. Then get another 2 or 3 steps back. Now you're in the ideal spot. I think a lot of people just don't practice that. So they're not aware and they don't really know how to get themselves beyond the baseline. Now, once the point starts, you need to be better. And this is blunder number 2, actually, that you're taking me into, is club players are not very good at reacting to offense, defense, and neutral situations in tennis, in doubles. They more start to react to realizing they're an offense, defense, or neutral. I even asked the student, when is that? And like, well, when my opponent hits the ball. And you're reacting like, oh, now I'm in trouble. And that's too late. You need to be better at, from the very first strike. So how can you do it on your serve? Like, okay, I'm going to serve out wide. If I hit a good serve out wide, then I should be on offense. So if I hit my serve and as I'm feeling the strings hit the ball, I should start to go, oh, this feels really good. I think this is going to be a good serve. And then it's just more natural that when your eyes look at your opponent, if you see a stretch, now guess what? You can cheat in a couple steps because most likely they might give something short back. You might have the best intention. I've certainly thought, okay, I'm going to hit a great slice serve out wide. And as I'm hitting, I'm going, ooh, this isn't so great. And all of a sudden you land and you look at your opponent and you see them just set up for a sweep backhand. Well, now I'm probably going to work on getting back faster. So a lot of your reaction can actually be developed around your intent of what you want to do from serving and returning. Like, okay, you're playing a game of cat and mouse. They're going to serve at you. And you're thinking, okay, they have a serve that usually goes to my backhand. I'm going to hit it short and they're going to struggle to get in and I'm going to sneak in and hopefully get a high volley. Well, if you hit it well and then you see them struggling, the racket faces open as they're raining the ball, you can probably cheat in and maybe get a ball that you put away. If they're on it really quickly and you just didn't hit a great shot, now again, you should be retreating behind the baseline, maybe even already thinking I'm hitting a lob. And this is just not happening when I'm running my camps.
Yeah. So what's maybe like 1 or 2 either drills or like just things to keep in mind, like to practice this, like when people are out there next time on the court?
I think you can do a lot of this in like your warm up or your practice matches to just kind of say to yourself as the ball is coming, have this in your mind. Like as the ball is coming, okay, I'm going to hit an offensive strike. And then really judging the quality of your shot and what is the most likely result that you would expect to get out of the good shot. And then you can start to move to that court position. You don't have to sprint to it. Lots of times in doubles, you can do little creeping steps. Like if I'm in a neutral rally and all of a sudden I strike the ball really well, and then I see them kind of back off the baselines really high at their backhand, I might just creep in just inside the baseline. And then as I see them struggle more and more, it's getting closer to the contact of their strings, I can creep another couple steps. And then as it just comes off their strings really bad, now I can kind of like do like a sprint / jog. Like it's like a jog sprint. It doesn't have to be a full out sprint. And that's how you can get on a ball really fast. The pros do that a lot when you watch them play.
Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest requests or issues that people like ask about is anticipation. And that's, what you're talking about right now. So very valuable advice there, Peter. What's your third one?
Third one is avoiding secret no man's land. So we all know about no man's land, which is between the baseline and the service line. Secret no man's land is where you ideally want to hit the most balls. It is right near that net strap. We want to hit a lot of volleys there, but we do not want to stay there. So what I recommend people start to think of themselves as they go into secret no man's land and hit a volley is to view themselves as a bank robber. You got to go in and get the money and get out. Because if you stay in the bank, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get caught. And getting caught on a tennis court is usually getting lobbed right over your head. And I think, I'll take some of the blame as a tennis coach to where coaches all the time are telling you close, close, close. And then you run lots of 3 or 4 ball feeding drills and you let your students basically end up the drill right on top of the net. And then it's time to go back in line. So they're basically training their body to come in until they get right on top of the net. And then that's the best. And then go back in line. But if you do that in the normal point and you haven't put the ball away, now you're going to get lobbed. It's impossible to get that ball.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's kind of, it made me think about how like you're supposed to be moving in a triangle in terms of your footwork at the net. And so that's part of it. That's like, that's the one part of the triangle moving up, and then you got to move back as well. So that's really good advice. When I see players who are at the net, like too far close to the net, like I love seeing that because then I can just lob, neutralize the point easily. But yeah, that's really good advice there. But that is, I know veering a little bit off track, but I love the advice personally for me, like to go towards a net strap when you're poaching because, I watch sometimes myself, I move too laterally, and I was watching my girlfriend Kate at 5-0 Nationals, and I noticed there was a ball where she moved laterally and she barely missed a drop shot because of the lateral movement. If she had moved, toward the net strap, she would have made that. But anyways, the sage teachings of Peter live in my brain, constantly. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff, Peter. I know we're running through these, but what's your fourth one?
Yeah. So this next one, I think, is going to save people a ton of heartache to stop missing balls that you should not miss. You should make this shot and you should still have an 80% chance of winning the point. And that is when you have to hit an overhead, and especially if you're behind the service line and you can be aware that 1 foot has to come off the ground to hit an overhead, do not hit a traditional overhead. Instead, I want you to hit a bump volley. Try and push it back deep to the safest part of the court. So, look for that traditional 1 up, 1 back formation. And who's ever back, you're just trying to push the ball deep to that corner. And then you can decide as you're hitting this ball, how is your momentum going? Off that one leg that you're hitting off of, are you easily able to spring back forward and come to the net? Or are you kind of stumbling backwards? If you're stumbling backwards, that's fine. Make the ball, even if you can get it a little higher, even better. And then that's going to give you time to get back. And all of a sudden you're in a both 1 up, 1 back situation because now you're back into the baseline rally.
Yeah, that's huge. I do that too. And, I know the answer actually because we talked about it during the camp, but is there a level cutoff or do people even in high level tennis also follow this rule?
Well, I mean, obviously we're going to talk about the pros, but I started to really become aware of this when I heard from one of my best students. His name's Carver. He played Division I, and a Division I coach told them, the team, like, hey, any lob past service line, you guys are not hitting overs anymore. I want you to let it bounce and crush a forehand. Now, that's a different strategy. Club players can't crush forehands like juniors who have been just training like animals since that time they were like 8 years old. So, but the point of the coach was like, I can't afford to be losing these matches because you guys miss overhead. So I noticed when the ball goes past the service line, you guys miss too many. We need to make that shot. So making for us isn't laying the ball bounce and then crushing a forehand. It's just, I think it'd be better taking lots of times out of the air, not to say never let it bounce, but just out of the air and make good contact and figure out where the best place to position yourself after that shot.
Yeah, definitely. Much higher percentage shot there and just reset. Cool. Awesome. How about number 5, Pete?
Number 5 is being aware of the new rally formation after you get lobbed over the head or there's any kind of switch. Since, again, a lot of coaching is very repetitive and students take the coach's advice very literal. So we train over and over again, go cross court. Cross court's consistent over and over. So what happens is when somebody gets lobbed over, they cover the lob, and then a lot of times they just automatically hit the ball cross court because they just think cross court is what I do with a ground stroke, and you hit it right to the net person. And then, of course, your partner's going to get clobbered. So now the new rally formation is actually down the line. So after if you're going to cover your partner's lob, go down the line now in your rally and be patient into that.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, I mean, I actually like that formation a lot, especially when it gets to like me going down the line with my forehand. But yeah, that's, sometimes, I have partners who like just go crossword for whatever reason. I have no idea why. And I'll get hit or something. So that can be a bit annoying. But yeah, definitely being aware of that's good. And definitely like, when you're playing in these matches or like practice matches or whatever, that's something you want to intentionally practice. How about number 6, Pete?
Number 6 is short to short doesn't automatically win points. You have to get out of the robotic, again, coaching style. These are not bad tips. It might sound like I'm bashing the coach. I'm not. Short to short is a great play. But again, when you start to take your coach too literal and you think, I'm close to the net, my opponent's close to the net, my job is now short to short. If you go short to short too early, you're going to lose that battle every time. So when you are going to go short to short, make sure you got a good look. Again, think about the leg lift rule that I gave you on the overhead. If you're hitting a volley and one leg's in the air and you're still trying to go short to short, you're probably not putting that ball away. So little things like that. If the ball is coming fairly fast and around the net level or lower, don't go short to short. You're going to hit the ball high. Get good looks at short to short to where you're hitting a devastating volley. It's either going to be a put away or it's barely coming back, and then you and your partner are cleaning up the mess. But if it's just out of reaction of like, I'm short, they're short, got to hit short, you're going to lose the point.
Yeah, definitely. I thought of you, Pete, and this advice. So again, I was out in Arizona watching my girlfriend play 5-0 women's nationals, and she did amazing. Her and her partner won all 3 of their matches. But I did see one time when they were in a rally and then the opponent at the baseline hit to Kate and her volley was like kind of like net level, maybe like, an inch lower or something. And she went short to short and she did not get enough on it. And the girl just easily just put it in the open court. So I thought of that advice then. So definitely is correct. Yeah. Lucky number 7, Pete. What you got?
Okay, kind of similar with a short thing, but it's a little different is when you are the net player on the serving side, you're going to be tested. They're going to go down the line a lot on you. And you want to, again, judge the quality of the passing shot and what you can realistically do with the ball, especially when the ball is hit out to the alley. It's so tempting and it feels so good to want to take that across the court, again, at the short to short. But if you do that and you don't put the ball away, now you've left one of the biggest gaps that can possibly be open on a doubles court. If you can imagine that. You're out in the alley trying to hit a volley, and then you're trying to take it at the person across from you who's short, which is a good instinctual thing, right? And we've been coached that. But if you don't put it away, now you've opened up one of the biggest holes in a doubles court at club tennis, and the ball is going to go through that hole if you do not put the ball away. So you want to think, first of all, do I have a good look? If I have a good look, it's that middle volley. The middle solves the riddle. It's basically going behind the short person and then where it's going to go through. Imagine that ball going through the midline of when you're serving. That's where you want to hit that volley. Now, again, people try and do that one. They know about that one, right? Middle solves the riddle. They've heard these before. So then they go there when their opponent has hit a very good shot at them. And you're just not going to do enough with that ball lots of times. Lots of times you leave it hanging. Lots of times the person who is short can see that you're going there and they cross over and do like a little mini poach. Then you have to be really a full poach for them. And then again, you're in trouble. So when your opponent does a good job on a passing shot, just give it respect and put the energy right back. It's very hard. If they just hit a good shot at you, it's hard for them to reload the gun, right? they've just given all the gusto they have and they've executed. So that is physically and emotionally hard to reset to, because when you decide to take that risk down the line as the person going down the line at the net person, you have this whole conversation on yourself, like, all right, I'm going to go down the line. I'm going to go down the line. I'm going to rip it. Like you give yourself a pump up talk. And then when you do and you execute, you're kind of excited and you're kind of like hoping that that worked out. Very few people are ready to reload the gun and hit another good ball. So if you just hit the most simple volley back to them, you will see how many mistakes they can make off that recovery ball that they have to now do. So just remember that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you were talking about that, I was thinking about my experiences, like cracking it down the middle, and then like if I receive another ball, I'm just like, oh crap, what? And then I have to reset myself, and I will definitely not rip it back down the line usually. And yeah, speaking of tips 6 and 7, I mean that's one huge concept that we covered was protecting the middle, and this is that's what it's about. If you volley to the wrong person at the wrong time, then you're leaving that huge gap, and you want to be protecting that middle. So that's great advice there, Pete. Already up to number 8. What's your next repeat?
Well, the next one has to do with the mid-court ball. The great thing about doubles at the club level, you get second serves all day long that are attackable. You're going to get a lot of short balls. Like there's no shortage of opportunities to attack in the mid-court. And I even tell my students at every camp, I'm like, look at how you do compared to your peers mid-court and in, meaning your approach shot and your first volley, and then your put away volley. If you are the best on the court at that, when you go out and play, you're probably going to be one of the better doubles players at your club. Doesn't mean you're always going to win the match, but most people are going to observe like, oh, they were definitely the best player on the court. Who's ever best at mid-court, first volley, put away volley, those are the best players in club doubles. So we automatically think, because we see a short ball on TV, it's usually destroyed with aggressive, flat topspin technique. And that is definitely the most mouth-watering thing that everybody wants to copy. But that's very, very hard to do. And it also becomes very predictable. So if you're coming over the ball at topspin, hitting a cross-court ball, the ball is going to bounce and come up. And if you put any kind of pace on it, it's usually not going to bounce very high. It's going to be right in the middle of people's waist. Like they love that. So you're giving them nice pace, but it's not overwhelming pace, right? There's very few club players that are going to be able to deliver Carlos Alcaraz overwhelming pace on their approach shots consistently for 2 out of 3 sets. You might do it 5 times in a match if you have a great match, but a lot of times it's going to be a very nice medium pace ball to get used to. So that should be one of your approach shots, but you have to add variety. You have to add layers to your approach shot. It's just not the same pace and the same place. Don't be afraid to hit a higher loopy approach shot and come on in, because now all of a sudden the ball's out of the strike zone. You have to master a chip ball too. I tell all my students this, because if you get good at this, it is staying low. The Bryan brothers made a video a while back with Will from Fuzzy Oak Balls, who's also part of Tennis Con, and they said the game is all about who can make the other team hit up so you get to hit down. If you hit a great chip shot, the ball is skidding, and imagine almost like coming up on ice. When you hit a good slice, it's so nice. And now they have to hit up. So that's what I would work on in the mid-court, is getting some variety going on. There's just not enough variety on approach shots.
Yeah, definitely. And you demonstrated with the players at our camp, what do you think is harder to hit? And, you demonstrated like topspin ball or like a low skidding slice. And, the great thing with the chip slice, or we're going to call it, is that, the technique is simpler. You're going to be more consistent as a result, and it's going to be out of the strike zone. Like I know for a player like myself who has, a forehand grip that's a little more towards the Western side, that the low ball is what I'm going to hate hitting as well. It's tough to get that ball up. So that developing that, and also like when you hit a chip approach, then you already have your volley grip in place as well. So that's great. You don't have to change grips as well. So really good stuff. And obviously like the high loopy, especially if you have a player who has like a Eastern grip, they're going to hate that and slap it long a lot of times. So just getting it out of that strike zone. So that's great stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Number 9, which is also no in German.
Number 9 is don't play hero ball.
Yeah.
So most people who get into tennis, it's usually people who are very individualistic, right? We just start to play doubles because we have to lots of times, right? We're like, oh, all the leagues are doubles. That's one thing that makes people play doubles. I don't want to cover the whole court anymore. I love to play singles if I could, but I can't cover a singles court anymore. So we usually get the tennis because we like the individualism of tennis. I know that's what I liked it. I was actually a pretty good athlete. I mean, as far as like hand-eye, hitting a ball, shooting a ball. Why I take tennis? I love that it was on me, right? That I could control every shot. And when you do have some singles background, now, of course, it's good to be disciplined in your patterns too, but certainly if you can get your opponent running side to side to side, that is good. They get in, the more you can consistently do that and execute, they get in more trouble, and you are basically one shot away from ending the point. It's not like that in doubles. So when you are constantly switching directions because you are being so creative, you now are confusing the crap out of your partner, and they have to keep adjusting with your movement. You get one down the line. Now they got to go cover the line ball. Now you hit the next ball cross court. Now they got to cover the cross court ball. Now and the more you do that, you're opening gaps on your side. You're not opening the gaps as much as you think on the other side. You're actually opening the gaps for winners against you on your side. So it's better to just construct the point more simple. It's like break down one side of the court, then finish on the other side. And it's just really, really simple. Break down the cross court, do a better job executing cross court balls than they do. Get to a good position at the net, get a good look. And most of the time, if you can end short to short, you end it, but you don't do it too soon. So you don't take it to the other direction until it is over. Because if you take it to the other side of the court and the point is not over, the more you have a habit of doing that, you open up the court and you are confusing your partner.
I guarantee somebody listening to this is going to make that mistake, and then they're going to think about this podcast. And then they'll stop it, hopefully. But yeah, that's a great one there. I definitely don't want your partner to be frazzled and wonder what's going on. And then, wow, number 10. What's number 10?
Number 10, I say number 10 for last because I think people are just tired of hearing it. But if you play doubles, guys, you're playing doubles. It's a team sport. I know it is one of the most, I don't know why, but it seems painful. It's like, as a coach, it looks like you're dropping kids off at school for the first day and they don't know anybody and they don't want to talk to anybody. Right? That's what club doubles looks like. People just don't communicate in doubles, and it is a team game. Again, because we are individuals, I can just tell you from my own experience playing tennis, if I had a match the next day, I'm starting to think about it the day before, and everything is just centralized to my thought. How am I going to feel tomorrow? How am I going to hit the ball? I hope I hit a lot of winners. I hope I don't choke. I hope I don't do this. I hope I don't do that. Very few people are thinking, I hope I'm a good partner. I hope my partner feels comfortable playing with me. I hope I communicate well tomorrow. I hope I'm able to see what's going on and then build some kind of camaraderie to where we build a good game plan together so we know how to exploit the other team's weaknesses. No one's thinking like this. And this is exactly what you need to do to win a doubles match. So you better start working on it.
Yeah, definitely. I remember in the camp, obviously don't want to name names, but you'd notice that a few times, and you brought the players in to have a talk, and you know how one player, I think, had said sorry and the other one didn't react and things like that, just like staying in their own head. But the more you can communicate and ask each other what you think about the strategies and support each other, it's just going to be like a good time overall. And in the end, that's what we're all here for. We're not, going pro or anything. So, as long as we can just enjoy the sport and that's part of it, then I think we'll be in a better place. So yeah, most definitely. Most definitely, Pete. That was, a great list. And, speaking of enjoying the sport, again, I cannot wait for TennisCon 9. In particular, I really enjoy watching the serve sessions. I always, I'm looking to improve my serve, get some more pop on there, more spin. And you've got, a lot of great stuff on, doubles and singles IQ and training secrets. But I'm really proud to be a part of that one for the challenges. And again, a new format. So maybe what is one session that you want to just like kind of preview maybe in a way, or just one like takeaway, something like that, just to get what the appetite of the audience?
I think more than a session, I hope it's a feeling of excitement this year. All the videos are good, but you just have to stay tuned in, because I come on video about 2 to 3 times a video and I say, now it's time to score your point. So it keeps you engaged, and the people who are involved in it, they enjoy playing the game. You're playing tennis because you like games. You're competitive. You have that. So you're able to actually use that in TennisCon and compete and be hungry to get better and be rewarded for it. And I have to look at where it is now, but I was shocked the other day. We just started launching it, and just the other day we had about, I think, 25 members in there. And there was a 32-minute video from Brady Height. Most videos were actually much shorter. So he's going to be one of the longer videos. We're trying to get videos this year, like anywhere from, oh, you put that up. Yeah. Anywhere from like 7 to 15 minutes. But this 32-minute video, out of the 25 people who had been able to watch it, 15 people scored all 4 points. And then there was probably like another 5 who had 2 or 3 points. And then maybe only 1 person or 2 people didn't have any points. So that means that people are actually using and viewing the content this year. I did a best year ever challenge earlier in the year, and that was a 30-day challenge. And there were 4 different videos you could watch, and a bunch of different, like, it was so many crazy how many points you could score. And we had people max out on points, many people. So what I'm excited about is, I think one of the biggest knocks on online instruction is not the actual content. Is somebody going to be motivated enough to actually go in and view it and get the value out of it? And that's what I'm proud of with TennisCon, is people are actually going in, viewing it, getting excited to log in, rather than, I can tell you, I bought a lot of courses. And it's so weird how the psychology can be like, even though you bought it and you were excited when you bought it, you're like, oh, I don't feel like logging in and watching. And you're like, it's crazy. I mean, you bought it, you want it. I mean, this is me talking. I'm not blaming you. This is actually how I feel. But it's different, because when you get to log in and score points and you're excited and you're competing and you see the leaderboard, it changes that dynamic. Like, people are waiting for the next video to be uploaded so that they can score points and stay ahead of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, what an exciting format. I mean, I got to give you kudos. As you'd mentioned, we both do online conferences, and this, your creation of formatting it in this way is awesome. And yeah, applaud you for that. And yeah, for those who are watching this in video form, do have the website up for TennisCon 9, the registration, super easy. Just, click one of the, I think these are orange buttons, and put in your first name and email, and then if you want, your phone number, and then get updates like that, which it is helpful to get updates via phone number. And then, yeah, the lineups here, some really good coaches out here. As you can see, Ryan Reedy and John Craig, Dr. Mark Kovacs, Will Buchek, so many great people. Gigi Fernandez, 17-time Grand Slam champ, so many. And, but I think less than previous years, because Pete has really focused this year's TennisCon into, very like a a challenge based format. So yeah, it's really cool. You got the prizes up here. Obviously, the 2-day camp with us, you can win just for getting the lifetime access to TennisCon 9 is amazing. And then also there's a Pong bot there, small ball machine, and the fast track training aid is 9th and 10th place finishers. So agenda up here. Yeah, Peter, I don't know if anything else you want to say while I'm scrolling.
Well, while you're scrolling, you just notice that each day is consumable. There's just like 3 or 4 videos to go through the 9 days. The videos, for the most part, are shorter. Most videos you're going to find are going to be 15 minutes or less, many under 10 minutes. My slice serve, I'd give like 9 of my best slice serve drills. I get that done in under 10 minutes. I think it's about an 8-minute video. So it's not as overbearing a task. We, in the past, had 40 videos, 40 secrets from 40 coaches I can find anywhere else. And many of those were interviews to where, me and the coaches kind of geeked out. We would give so many great tips, but then, we'd end the video and then we like, that was like over an hour, which was great. And people are definitely getting a lot of value on that. But I think it could also work against a little bit if you're trying to make it through everything. Where this, you can make it through it, guys. You can do this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's highly consumable and, goes along with the thought about, at the end of the day, from when you watch a video, you want to pick like, 1 or 2 things to work on. And yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's a challenge format, so it really challenges you to take action. And then obviously the point system for those of you who pick up the all access pass. And again, you can check out tennisfiles.com/tenniscon9 to check that out and to register. I mean, I'm registered already, so definitely I encourage you all to check it out. Yeah, I can't wait for it. And again, can you tell us the dates?
Yeah. So here's the cool thing. You can start playing the game today. If you're watching this, you can dive in today. It officially starts not November, October 27th, October 27th, and runs through November 4th. Those are the 9 days of the challenge. But the reason why I'm saying, hey, you can start scoring points right now is I'm a big believer in action. I want people to be excited. So right now we have 3 videos up at this very time. So I'm basically releasing them slowly so that the people who are sign up early have an advantage to get through the material easier and max out on points. I'm going to predict that this year's TennisCon 9 is going to have so many people tied for first place after the 9 days that we're going to come up with creative live stream games to determine our top winners, because I wouldn't be surprised. I would honestly not be surprised if 100 people are in first place at the end, where the way the numbers are going. I think so many people are going to love this and max out on points. And then we're going to basically decide winners by a live stream competition, which is a lot of fun. And it'll probably be like a marathon trivia game to where we're going to have to then narrow it down to the top 8 point getters on the live stream. And then the person who finishes second after the 8th, right? So that would actually be the 9th and then the 10th. So you know how like old school people kind of make fun of the new school people for having like 4th place, like ribbons. We have 10th place ribbon at TennisCon. Plus, we're also giving away daily prizes too. mehrban, I can't wait to show you. It's actually on my phone, so I can't show you right now because that's where I'm doing the interview. But I have awesome tumblers that we're going to give away, TennisCon towels, and this lady, with your permission, she made Christmas ornaments and she put me and you on the ornament.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Yeah, that'll be something to win too.
Oh, amazing. You have my permission. That's awesome. Wow. And yeah, if you need help with the marathon live stream, let me know. But that's super exciting. So yeah, honestly, I mean, you all are here, you follow us and register for these, or you follow us to improve your game, right? And that's the whole point of what we do and why you're, consuming online content. So, I mean, you've got to join this event. I mean, honestly, it's like such a great event and it's going to be even more fun this year. And yeah, like just Just go to tennisfiles.com/tenniscon9. Check it out. You won't regret it at all. So you'll have a lot of fun, and it's just a great event. So Peter, got to give you big kudos again, and can't wait for it. Good job on all the hard work, because as you know, it takes months of preparation and effort and coordination, and asking people for the videos and so forth. Wink, wink. So yeah, thanks. And yeah, I really appreciate it, and hope everybody joins TennisCon 9. Any last words before we adjourn, Pete?
Well, I just want to thank you for your partnership over the years with this. It could have turned out where we both do similar events, or it could be like the Hatfields and the McCoys. It's like a big rivalry, and we bad talk each other, and we say the other one's thing is so terrible. But it's the exact opposite. We both are like the biggest supporters of each other's event.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun. We become great friends from it. And, so many people who come train with me, they think that we own both events together. Just so you guys know, Tennis Files, Tennis Summit is mehrban, and TennisCon is mine. But we do such a good job of promoting each other and helping each other that people think we're co-owners of both events. So many people come to train with me, and they're like, I know you do the Tennis Summit, and you and mehrban do the Tennis Summit. Like, well, no, wait, hold on. That is mehrban. See, he does that, and and I do TennisCon. So that's his, that's not mine. I can't take credit for that. But this is I think that's just good right there, to where so many people see how we get along, and they think that we actually are doing both of these together. So that I want to keep that tradition going.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll keep that going. And yeah, same. Like, I get tons of emails, or people are like, oh, can I get, I need access to TennisCon. And I'm like, oh, this is Peter's FY. He can help you with that. And also like when in person as well. So, but yeah, it's just so fun working, with you and promoting your great event. I mean, why not? It's amazing. And I thank you as well for all your amazing friendship and partnership and help with Tennis Summit, and just love, both events so much. So thank you, Peter. Again, I know I mentioned it a few times, but check out TennisCon 9. Super excited for it. Tennisfiles.com/TennisCon9. Go there and sign up ASAP. So Peter, thanks a lot, and looking forward to teaming up again very soon. So great job, and looking forward to TennisCon 9.